Good evening and thank you for joining us. Carly, at least the weather cooperated for that tournament.
I know, everyone was so concerned about the soggy course. They had to buy extra pumps to remove some of the water, and Shauna, you delivered some good news.
I do what I can. I do what I can. So as we now take a look across the Lloydminster area and Midwest, we're sitting at 22 degrees with a very high UV index, so hopefully everyone is wearing their sunscreen. How does that compare to the Lakeland and Battlefords? A beautiful today, and this is what we're looking at, beautiful temperatures. I will come back later on in the program with what's going to happen later on this week.
That's the news a Lloydminster area family has been waiting almost 5 long years for. An arrest has been finally made in the murder of 20-year-old Dylan McGillis. McGillis, who was from the border city, was stabbed on White Avenue in Edmonton on November 19, 2006. Police arrested 23-year-old Cleophas Decoyne-Zuniga yesterday and have charged him with 1 count of manslaughter. The victim's father says it was news they're hoping for, but it still comes as a shock.
It kind of brings everything fresh again, back, flooding all back in, all the feelings and, you know, of when he was killed. And it's really, like I say, it's really tough to say. You know, nothing will ever bring Dylan back, but we're happy that somebody is going to be held accountable.
Homicide detectives are looking for another suspect in the case. He's described as an Asian man with a slender build, believed to be around 5'5". McGillis says the arrest and charges are of little comfort.
It was Father's Day, and you go to his gravesite, or I went to his gravesite to see my son. You know, it's there'll never be closure. You know, his daughter goes to see her daddy. You know, at a gravesite. That's not right. Holidays aren't what they were. Never will be. It takes a part of you.
McGillis says he plans to follow the case through the court system and wants the opportunity to face his son's alleged killer.
I want to be seen by him. I want to have my say and, you know, express what he's taken from so many people. He didn't know Dylan. You know, it was a random violent attack on Dylan. But I'd like for him to know Dylan, what he's taken from all of us.
The accused will appear in court in Edmonton Friday. Grant McGillis also said he thinks the manslaughter charge should have been a murder charge. We'll have more on this story tomorrow on Newcap News. Alberta is blessed with enormous natural resources, but while this existing wealth has made the people in the province prosper, there's concern for the future. The Premier's Council on Economic Strategy has delivered a report that outlines a plan to stay on top. And today, they made a stop in the border city for a dialogue with local business leaders.
And it's intended to start a conversation, a grown-up conversation.
The council members have diverse backgrounds, including business, academia, and government. Their goal is to develop policy initiatives through an exchange of ideas with Albertans. There's a consensus that the economy needs to be based on more than just what we can extract from the environment.
Those resources are going to run out at some point in time. We just don't know when. So let's start thinking about being prepared for those inevitabilities.
While Alberta's fortunes rise and fall with the market price of oil and gas, the council's goal is to expand other industries to prepare for its decline.
At some stage it will be replaced. But right now, what we can do is start to put in place a foundation which will mitigate against those things. So we build resilience into the province. We build economic diversification.
The intent is to develop a plan that is independent of election cycles and recognizes that status quo is not a viable option going forward.
There's a dialogue needed in the province, and that what's really important is that we engage young people to understand where the future is for them and their careers.
And indeed, that is one of the key components of the report. Kids growing up today are already more connected than their parents, and this will enable them to be strong competitors in a more interdependent global economy.
Build that population of people who feel culturally at home around the world, and on top of that cultural ease, are well educated and are able to create wealth either here or elsewhere.
This type of forward thinking seems to come about mostly when the price of oil drops, but the entire aim of the council is to make changes now, while Alberta rides high.
We're not in a bust, we're actually in a boom. The province is prosperous, economic activity is very high. This is the time when we've got the resources, we should start to invest in the future.
Day one is coming to a close at the biannual Oil and Gas Show in Bonnyville. The exhibition is a two-day event with companies from across Canada taking part. As Clayton Brown reports, the inaugural show has been a great success.
Doors to the Centennial Centre opened at 10 for the first oil and gas show in the town. The Bonnyville Chamber of Commerce organized the event after they found a real need for the trade show.
One thing that we were actually lacking in was supporting the oil and gas community, and this is Bonnyville. This is an oil and gas community, and we really decided we needed to do something for oil and gas service companies and the oil and gas companies in the region.
Ducharme says the response to the show has been incredible. There are 215 booths represented by 165 companies from as far away as Quebec.
Bonnyville's such an active area right now, and looks like it's growing exponentially. I think everyone's excited to be able to have this opportunity, just simply to come together.
It's well thought out. The facility is great. I mean, I'm really impressed, and we'll definitely be back for sure.
Throughout the 2 days, companies have the chance to meet with potential clients to learn what they are able to offer each other.
It's about relationship creating. That's what these shows are for. You know, you meet the people maybe for the first time, but then you can go back and forward that relationship after the fact. And that's really important in this day and age.
Our exhibitors seem really happy so far, and that's what the show is for. The show is for the exhibitors to make quality contacts, to network, grow the business, and spotlight the area.
An Oilman's Reverse Trade Show also headlined day one. It's just another way for businesses to network.
That was an opportunity for the exhibitors and also people attending the show with business interest with the producing companies to actually make a contact with them.
Day two will feature 3 educational sessions with guest speakers. In Bonnyville, Clayton Brown, Newcap News.
Video conferencing is used by doctors in different cities to quickly see, speak with, and analyze patients far away. Telestroke is a program that uses webcams and monitors to diagnose patients. Mike Baden explains how a local man took full advantage of the program that helped him back to full health.
The day started off normal for John Limit. He was at work here when he suddenly started to feel a little strange.
Well, I was at the gas bar. I'd bent down to pick something up or drop my glove, and everything turned black. Then I got dizzy and weak.
The next thing he remembered was waking up in the hospital. John had weakness and numbness in the entire left side of his body, which is when the Telestroke program came into use.
Then we went ahead and started our protocols for a stroke type patient, where we got the CAT scan right away, and then we consulted with Edmonton with our teleneurologist through Edmonton with our Telestroke program.
Small town or rural areas. Dr. Khan, a neurologist at the University of Alberta Hospital, helped John using Telestroke to diagnose him and save his life.
The only patients that get TPA is if it's ordered by a neurologist. So if we didn't have a teleneurologist, then we would have to transport him to the city, and then he would have been outside the time frame to be able to get that medication.
John has now taken the medications needed to bring himself back to full health. He was also instructed to change his lifestyle.
A lot of exercise, walk, and lose some weight. That's what he said.
Without Dr. Khan and the use of Telestroke, John would not be in the same state he is in today.
Right now, I won't be walking. I'll be in a wheelchair or so.
Since John's stroke back in March, he has kept up his physical activity and is now back at work. Mike Baden, Newcap News.